To your first look and hands-on with the brand new Google Pixel 10a. And can we just pull up the Pixel 9a really quick right next to it? Okay. They're actually the same. You know how sometimes smartphone releases are really only just one or two new things? Like sometimes it's just a spec bump or like a slight design update or something small like that. This one is actually truly effectively basically the same phone. And I don't think I've ever seen that before. Like on the outside, you literally cannot tell the difference versus last year's Pixel 9a because there basically is no difference. The phone is the same dimensions, same shape, super safe, super generic, super flat. It's still aluminum on the sides. It's still a plastic back instead of glass. And they still do that nice thing that they started last year where they make the phone just a little bit thicker, which completely eliminates the camera bump and fits a bigger battery. So once again, the dual cameras are totally flush with the back, and the battery is still 5,100 milliamp hours, which is much appreciated in this price range. Buttons are in the same places, antenna, port, speakers, all in the same place. IP68 certified still. It's really just the exact same design. In fact, all of the footage that you've been watching so far has actually been of the Pixel 9a. I'm joking, but it's really not that far off. The only way you could tell is if you notice the slightly different colors. When I say slightly different, though, I really mean slightly different. Because these were the old colors for Pixel 9a, and now these are the new colors, now named Fog, Obsidian, Berry, and Lavender. The display at the front, it's the same, 6.3 inches with well-rounded corners and semi-thick bezels, hole punch top middle still, fingerprint under the glass still. It's still the 60 to 120 hertz display, and yes, it's still set to 60 hertz by default. It's the exact same resolution, exact same pixel density, same. The cameras around the back, as far as I can tell, are also exactly the same dual cameras as before, 48 megapixel main and 13 megapixel ultra-wide. And inside, it's even the same Tensor G4 chip from last year. So it's not even a spec bump. Same 8 gigs of RAM and same 128 gigs of starting memory. And it all shakes out to exactly the same price as last year's phone too, which is $499 starting. And I guess I didn't really have a choice because it's basically the same phone. But hey, I want to be as fair as possible, okay? They're not re-releasing the exact same phone. You heard about the new colors. I went through the spec sheet, studied it, compared it with the Pixel 9a's, went back and forth, and I have come up with a list of every single thing, literally everything that's different about the 10a versus the 9a. Okay? Here you go. So that Pixel 10a's display is the same size, resolution, refresh rate, pixel density, aspect ratio, hole punch, fingerprint reader, and everything, but it is about 10% brighter, up to 3000 nits peak brightness, and it's covered in a slightly newer Gorilla Glass 7i instead of Gorilla Glass 3. And they say the bezels are just a tiny bit thinner. It's also a slightly faster 30-watt peak charging rate, up from 23 watts. And the camera bump, okay, if you look at the Pixel 9a, you see how there's technically like a tiny camera bump? The new 10a is really totally zero, so totally flush. And then the wireless charging goes from 7.5 watts to 10, and there is more recycled content in the 10a versus the 9a. And then in some regions, this one actually now supports satellite SOS, so you can contact emergency services through satellite connectivity when there's no cell signal. And that's it. That is the whole list. I do actually have kind of a lot of thoughts, surprisingly. First of all, I do think this is the most close to a re-release I've ever seen in a phone. It is literally the same chip, same specs, same battery, same cameras, same screen, a little bit brighter, same dimensions. It feels like the same phone with a new name on it. And the thing is, I always want to be careful about wishing for change just for the sake of change, because look, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I get that. But I still do think there are some obvious things they should have done that the A-series buyer really would have appreciated. Things like, okay, adding Pixel Snap feels like the obvious one. Adding the magnets in the back of the phone. The whole world, including myself, was baffled at the lack of magnets in the iPhone 16e when that came out. It seemed like such a ridiculous omission to take out MagSafe. Of course, word on the street is the 17e is also right around the corner, so we'll see if they change that at all. What a great opportunity it would have been for Google to show up with magnets across the whole Pixel 10 range, from the 10 Pro Fold all the way down to the 10a. But they clearly didn't do that. They could have also, I think it would have been nice if they bumped up the base storage to 256 gigs. It's 2026. That would have been a nice statement.